Hello, and welcome to episode 35-ish of the Yarnivore podcast. I'm Sadie. I will be your host. And I am Sadie Ruin on Twitter and Instagram. I am Blue Ruin on Ravelry. Our Ravelry group is called Yarnivore. You can come over and join at any time. And I think that's all the housekeeping portion where I repeat myself every week. If you can't tell, I'm wearing my FO. I have an FO. I am wearing it. It is wonderful. And it is not blocked, but it doesn't really need to be blocked. I like it like this. Hubby says it looks like I'm trying to wear a burqa or something. Technically a hijab. The burqa's got the vision and the hijab is the full one. And then the abaya is this one, right? Anywho. It's very comfortable. It is very adorable. I like the colors I chose for the contrast. Color. Not multiple colors going on here. I do apologize. I am recording later. I'm 2 days late? It's Sunday? Is it Sunday? Yeah, it's Sunday. I'm recording 2 days late. Got busy on Friday. I had a chiropractic appointment. I've never been to a chiropractor before. Hopefully that does the trick. And this, now that I've taken it off, because hey, I'm not going to wear it the whole recording because it's summer. This is the Ancient Bark by Ilga Leha. It is you can purchase it on Ravelry now. I got a hard copy. My mom bought me a hard copy years ago because I liked it so much. It is done out of Socks That Rock, medium weight in the Little Bunny Foo-Foo colorway. The purple edging is a little bit that I stole from a skein of the Soft Like Kittens Burnished Sport in Muscat. It works perfectly with this, so I'm glad I stole some. It's a Mobius cowly, shawly, wrappy, snooty thing. And I love it. It will be very good for winter, even fall, when you want to keep the chill off your neck and your shoulders. So I have an FO. Let us all, hold on a minute. Sorry about that. Let us all rejoice in the finished object. I'm so proud I have a finished object. It's been a while. Actually, no, I think I had one last week, didn't I? Let's see. No FOs. I had an FO the week before. You can't have an FO every week. Well, you could, but not me. Not me. So, works in progress. Let's start with this one, which got a fair bit of love. This is in my Sewn by Lindsay bag. She's out of Canada, so she's not shipping until the post is returned, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but you can go over to her Etsy shop and check shit out, because it's awesome. And I'm using my, what is this, Studio in the Green. My Studio in the Green needle keeper, which keeps my needles from falling out for the most part. These are the Bootstrap Socks, which I am making for the hubby. So last time you saw them, I think I was ready for the heel. I'm not sure if I had done the heel. So the heel is definitely done. I did the heel they called for in the pattern, and you know what? I don't like this heel. I'll probably never do it again. Like, okay, I learned a new heel. I don't like the heel. There's grafting involved, and it bugged me. So I'll probably never do it again, but I tried. And that's the important part. Sometimes you try and you don't like it, and sometimes you try and you really like it, and it changes your perspective. So allergy riddled. So then I did that. Now the gusset is done, and I am into the foot. I have about that much more to go before I hit toe. I'm still really enjoying the subtle stripes in this. It's really showing up on camera, but in real life it's not that apparent, I guess. It's a little more subtle in real life how the switches go. And So this one has these run down the sides. That's the interest of the pattern, is the little pearl section that runs down either side and onto the gusset or onto the flap of the foot, which is fun. Now it's just stockinette, so I'm really getting my groove on. We did go see Finding Dory, which was awesome because I was in university when Finding Nemo came out. I wasn't, young enough that it's like my deal, but my niece had just been born, so I was watching a lot of that stuff, and subsequently Finding Nemo became one of my most favorites of movies. And so Finding Dory was really awesome. If I recall correctly, it had been finished for a little while now, but because of the whole Blackfish thing, they didn't release it until that died down. Blackfish, of course, being a documentary about orcas and why orcas should not be at SeaWorld. We won't go there. But we will say that I took these socks. I got the heels done, and I got the gussets done, and I was like, yes, I can knit these in the theaters, because I always knit in the theaters. There are very few movies I haven't knit through. The Hobbit movies being some of them. I tried to knit in one of the Hobbit movies, and it went like disastrously sideways, in that you should never knit a ribbed hat while you're watching a movie you really care about. And so I didn't even open my knitting bag, actually. That's how engrossed I was with the story. But I did knit on it some at home. It is out of King Cole Zigzag, which is a 75-25 superwash wool nylon, 460 yards, made in Turkey under license for Silsden. Made in Turkey, eh? And of course I don't think I have any Turkish viewers, but if I do, my heart goes out to them. I send them my love, because but hopefully these get closer to done now that I am past the heel. Now that I'm onto the solid stockinette, really, I should be motoring. And this is my 12th pair with the 16 and 2016, which I'm co-doing with the passionate spinner, Tracy. She is holding all of the prizes, etc. She's doing all the pricey stuff. I'm not involved in that. I'm just, telling you to go and post all your socks there and shoot for it. She is probably at her 16 in 2016, or she's really close. I've got this one, which is 12, and I've got 13 on the needles, which is stripy socks for me. So I'm getting there. If I do hit 16 relatively soon, I'm going to shoot for 32. Yes, Annette, I know I'm crazy. But I also have absolutely, it helps. It's an anxious thing. It's an anxiety thing. I have to constantly be knitting almost. So, moving on. Onwards and upwards. In my Mina Makes bag, which I don't think you saw last week because I don't think I worked on it. Well, apparently I did. Who knew? Maybe you knew. I worked on my Dirty Martini. I'm still on the first ball. It is pathetically small. I'm hoping that means that I get to add the second one soon. I may have a skein left over, in which case it'll go into something else. Go into a prize or something. So I'm working on the button band, which has me smishing everything up really tiny, or what I'm calling the button band. It's really actually an added on the front, because you have all these short row shapings that go into it to give you the floof in the front, the air traffic controls, or was it? That was a thing for WWE. Anywho, my mind is so gone. Okay, there you go. See, last weekend we steam cleaned all the carpets in the house, which basically completely fried me. And now the carpets are wonderful, but I am tired. I was really tired as a result, and blah, 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 blah. Other things you don't care about. Anywho, I got one of the side panels done. One of the side short row shapings. Now I have to do the other side. I have not started on the other side. I'm guessing that with the other side I will have to add my new skein. And then there's some more shaping at the top here. And then I get to go to the arms. So I am getting pretty into this. Pretty far along. I'd like to hit arm territory soon. The husband decided to put Hulu on our Xbox One, so, well, at least the free trial or whatever for the week or what have you. So we've been watching Whose Line Is It Anyway, the original British version, and that's been pretty decent to knit too. So that's how I got the whole thing done. Generally, when I'm watching podcasts and stuff, I'm not working on this because I have the pattern on my iPad and I watch the podcasts on my iPad, usually while I'm on the couch. I don't really watch a lot on my computer anymore. I used to live in front of my computer in Regina, but now not so much. Now I actually hang out in the living room. Oh, the things that change when you get married. Now, next up is... I don't know why I put winter wheat on here. I don't think I made enough progress to show you. It's still in the same band. I added a few rows. I'm not going to dig that out. This, in my Yarn Friendly bag, it was also a Canadian. This is the Canadian, Canada Cal, which we, of course, here, the royal we, which is me, here at Yarnivore, I am piggybacking on with the Two Tangled Skeins podcast and doing the Canada Cal. So I have a Canada Cal chatter thread and I have a Canada Cal FO thread. So the rules for that is you can chatter away all you want. For the FOs, if you knit something, so here's how the entries go. So if you knit something by a Canadian designer or with a Canadian yarn, you get entered. One entry. Now, if you knit something from a Canadian designer out of Knitter's Nightmare, you get 2 entries. So basically you post your FO and then you post a placeholder like second entry or whatever into the thread so you have a second number. Now, if you knit one of my patterns out of Knitter's Nightmare, and if you knit one of my patterns in Knitter's Nightmare, then you get 3 entries. Now, from now till the end of August, there's a buy one, get one on all my patterns, all 4 of them, which is, if you use the code Canada, you get a buy one, get one free. And until July 5th, or midnight July 4th, however you want to play it, there is 10% off in the Knitter's Nightmare store with the code INDIE, all caps, INDIE. So go take advantage of those, come join the Canada Cal. There is a whole host of designers that you can look up on the Two Tangled Skeins. They've got a pretty comprehensive designer list for who's Canadian. I went through just my queue and picked out all the Canadian stuff, and I think I'm going to end up doing 2 things, like one thing for July and one thing for August. This runs until the end of August, this knit along. And so I picked out the Lemon Difficulty, which is a pattern by, I believe her name's Kate Atherley. What is your name? Where's your name? Yeah, Kate Atherley, on Le Ravelry. It looks like yarn. It's a simple brioche. I love me a simple brioche. Yeah, simple brioche triangle shawl. And so that's Canadian. It's in my Canadian bag. And I'm using my yarn, so it's Canadian yarn. I am considered, even though I live in America, I am a Canadian. I'm a Canadian expat. For the purposes of this knit along and for the knit along with the Two Tangled Skeins, I'm Canadian. and I identify as Canadian for the most part. Unless I identify as a citizen of North America, which is an Aboriginal thing. So I am using, this is a new colorway called the Grey Havens. It's going to be up in the shop eventually, probably on Tuesday. And this is Arabesque, which was like the sister to Enchanté. This is the Boogeyman sock. This is out of the Giant base, which is 490 yards of 100% superwash merino. I originally started it on the called for needle, and I didn't like the brioche I was getting. I thought it was way too open, because brioche is a naturally open yarn, and these are naturally thin yarns. So I went down, calls for a 4mm, I went to a 3.5. And now I'm liking what I'm getting. So there's one side, there's the other side. I'm rather enjoying it. I have actually gotten to where I had ripped out. So I'd like to get this one done in July, and then I'd like to do another one for August. I'd like to do 2. And of course, in my group, you can enter as many things as you finish. So there's no big whoop-de-doo. Whoopity-doo. Whoopity-doo. So there is that. And that is my last work in progress, which takes us to multitude of other things. Okay. I told you about the discount codes. I told you about the Canada Cal with everybody participating. It's crazy. You don't have to be Canadian to participate. You just have to use Canadian stuff or Canadian people. I did want to announce for all of those who are interested in the Dresden Files knitting pattern sets that the new one from Awilda has come out. It is Butters. The pattern is for Butters, and it's called Polka Will Never Die. My husband is very invested in all of these patterns, so it's been very interesting to see them come along. And so I know there are a bunch of you who are big Dresden fans, so you should go buy that and do it. It's fingerless mitts. Do I have the pattern up here? I know I have the pattern. Do I have the pattern up? That one. If you're PDF experts, which one are you looking at? Apparently I feel the need to sing songs right now. I need to sing songs for you. Didn't bring it up in that one either. Where the heck did I bring it up at? Okay, I can't show you, but it's gorgeous. It works for self-striping. She did it out of my stuff, self-striping. I believe it's a worsted. Don't quote me on that. And yeah, fingerless mitts. Very awesome. Love the texture. Very accordion-like, which is important for Butters, as I've been informed. I have not Butters Mutter yet. I have not met Butters yet. Butters Mutter. Oh. Say to go back to sleep. No, it's the middle of the afternoon. Right. So there was a question on the board, which I believe it was from Dawn. Was it from Dawn? Dawn, was it you? Knit and Wolf. I'm referring to Knit and Wolf, if you don't know who Dawn is by now. It is Dawn. You would love to see what my rescanning machine looks like in a winder demo. Yes, leave it for me to ask the PITA questions. The meaning behind my tattoos, are they just cool? Or if they're too personal. Okay, well, I have shown my rescanner on Instagram. It's a big thing that just goes in a circle. I could probably post another thing on Instagram the next time I'm doing it, but I can't take this little camera out with me, so I'm not sure how I would do that, or if I should edit. I don't have James, so my abilities to like splice in different things from different, what's the word, different capture devices, etc. It's a little limited, but I'll see what I can do on that. Tattoos. Well, my giant foot tattoo, which has the anchor and the roses and the knitting needles is really just, and it's got a nautical star, which is the color that is supposed to be on that side. I think I wanted red, but I had to get green because it's on my right foot, and my husband is very particular about that. Basically, husband knitting is covering up something. It's just pretty. That one's really just husband knitting. As far as my arm, I got this one in New Orleans. I was hung over in the French Quarter. That was pre-Katrina, and I decided that the city was part of me, and I was part of it, and so I got that done. Hung over in the French Quarter. What you do when you're 21. And because I'm from Canada and this is a fleur-de-lis, everyone thinks I'm Quebecois and that I'm somehow a separatiste, but I'm not. This is my little tribal bat. He was my first tattoo, which is probably why he's so small. And we all know I'm obsessed with bats, but they also fly down because of... They're said to fly down because their heads are too full of knowledge. This is really hard to show. It's from the insert of the Crow soundtrack, the movie The Crow with Brandon Lee. The soundtrack, this is the internal picture of the soundtrack. The soundtrack has a lot of very meaningful songs for me. Like The Crow is one of my favorite comic books. It's one of my favorite movies. It has one of my favorite Cure songs on it. It has Jane Siberry's It Can't Rain All the Time. It's just basically sums up a lot right there. It's just a way of life for me, I guess. This one, the big one, is Heartlock, self-explanatory. The Death Skull keys. People used to, back in the day, during the time of the Black Plague and the bubonic plague, etc., the big plagues, the plague times, people would wear skulls on their rings, or they would adorn themselves with it, to show other people. Young people did. Some old people, but mostly young people. It was a young people thing, where they would wear these skulls to symbolize that they weren't afraid to live or die. They weren't going to let the plague control them. They were just going to go about their lives. So I felt that was a very important thing to address there, I guess. I was 19. It still makes sense to me now. Like, you can't be afraid to live or die. You just have to love fearlessly anyway. And then my latest one, which is really hard to show, unless I'm standing up, but I'm not going to stand up. Okay, I'll stand up. Don't judge. There you go. That is an owl. This is the big knowing owl, and it's for my mom, who loves owls, who collects owls, and who is everything owls. Just everything. Her house is like covered in owls. At this point, we should stop getting her knickknacks. I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, we've halted on the knickknacks in general, but, like, she has a lot of owl stuff. But I gravitate towards owls because of my mom. We're bird people. I'm into the crows, she's into the owls. So I hope that answers your question. I got the cutest package, and I wanted to show it off to you. It was a gift, and okay, so I won this in the 2016 knit-along, which is a Socken Vassens Handgefarbter Wollstrong. It's a hand dye, and it's gorgeous, from Tracy. So she sent that, and an adorable card. And I'm one of those people, I'll save the cards until I, like, move or something and I need to, like, downsize. I save them and I don't even know why. And then she sent me a couple of things for birthday presents, which is so sweet. So we have some anchor floss, because you have to special order it here. Usually through 1, 2, 3 Stitch if you're me. But, so we have some anchors to try. The most adorable needle minder, which I can now use, because I will have shown it. 2 pairs of Knit Pro Zings, which I have never tried, and I'm very into trying. The 80 centimeters is a 2.25 and a 2.5, so my sock sizes, because you can never knit too many socks. You can't. And this, which I was just like, I fell totally in love with, and now I can actually start it, because I'll have shown it to you. And I'll show it on my floss tube too, but it's the 4 Seasons Counted Cross Stitch Kit, and it comes with everything. Everything. But look at how cute they are. A, it's seasonal, and B, it's birds. That's like winning 2 of my favorite things. Because I just love birds, and the seasons are a thing I adore. And I really like this little mushroom. Look at the ridiculous little mushroom. Love the ridiculous little mushroom. So thank you, Tracy. I'm very excited to be doing all of this. And the box is adorable. It's got bunnies on it. I'll show you that. Like, bunnies, man. Bunnies. I would like to point out that last week I did put up some show notes on Ravelry. If that is the kind of thing you'd be interested in, or if you want me to continue doing that, with just some links to the books and to the patterns I'm whipping and finishing. Like, not really extensive notes, but just a few links really, just links for you in the thread. Do tell me. And lastly, but not leastly, I did finish a book this last week. I got it at a library sale, as you can tell by the thingy. In fact, this is Pool's Bow on the back. I did rip off the taggy thing that had the barcode on it, but it's called Horns and Wrinkles. It's by Joseph Helgerson. He's out of Minnesota. Gregory Maguire, who wrote Wicked, says it's beautifully written and very funny, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's a kid's book, early teen. I have no idea how you would judge what age bracket people should be reading what, because I was a really early reader, and to me this would have been something I read when I was like 5 or 6, but for some people it could be 13. And if you like the Neil Gaiman stuff, or the really... So basically, this brother and sister fall into the Mississippi River, where in this place where it's magical. So there's river trolls, there are, what else is there? Rock trolls, fairies. Her brother grows a horn, so they have to figure out how to get his horn to go away. It's just really fun and entertaining. They call it a river adventure, or a river tale. Yes, a grand river tale. It has some Minnesota references, which I found humorous. It's not very long. 229 pages. But yeah, I'd put it up there with like a Neverwhere, or not Neverwhere, Stardust, kind of like that kind of adventure story where you start meeting strange people and strange things, and you have to do strange things to get yourself back to where you need to be, and there's falling stars. And so I do recommend it for children, for people who like reading teenager books. I really liked it. I'm never going to read it again, but I think I'll give it to one of my nieces so that they can read it and enjoy it. Like I said, if that's your thing. If that's your thing, then it's a good book. If it's not your thing, it's not. And now I'm reading Eat, Pray, Love, which I'm pretty sure everybody and their cousin has read by now, but I like to wait to eat. I like to wait to read fluff until I'm in the mood where I need it, and I think I'm in the mood where I need it, where I want to read, but I want to read, I hate to say it, but it's almost like tripe, like I could read it under the influence of some heavy-duty cold medication, and I could still understand it. And that, to me, is like an easy fluff book. And I like reading those occasionally, but there is a mood for me, and that is the mood I'm in. There's no way I would be tackling something like Shock Doctrine right now. Just not happening. So, but I'll tell you about it next week when I'm done, because I will be done next week and I'll be on to something new, I'm sure. Until then, do check out the Yarnivorous group. Do come chime in. Please come join the Canada Cal, and I'll see everybody next week.